So, hey everyone, my name is Colin McNamara. I run engineering and finance for AlwaysCool Brands and AlwaysCool.ai. I want to give you a little story about the journey that we've been going on over the past 2.5 years, transforming our internal processes with AI in the world of highly regulated industries, the food and drug industries. So our beginnings at AlwaysCool, and just a little bit of background on AlwaysCool Brands. We make products for other brands, specifically for retail grocery stores and stuff like that. We have 19 products that are coming out over Q3 and Q4 across 4,500 stores in America right now under those stores brands. And we specialize in taking the dyes and the additives and the fillers out and reformulating high-performing branded products under those store brands for like 10% cheaper and good for you, good for the environment. So the journey to the amazing sauce of having all these SKUs released into production was challenging, right? So about 2.5 years ago, we started doing the formulation process, the bid management processes, the quality management processes of developing formulations for these retailers. And at the start, and I'll give some use cases based around 2 key applications that we made to automate our day-to-day. But to start, it was a lot of spreadsheets, a lot of spreadsheets. And early on, when we were doing bench testing and reformulating items and whatnot, the formulas would change all the time. The nutrition facts would change all the time. And the challenge with that is when you're creating a sample to send off to your customer overnight, some of your customers might have nut allergies, or they may have religious preferences. And you have to make sure that all the ingredients are properly stated on this, so all the allergens are properly stated, to some fairly complicated Food and Drug Administration guidelines with heavy penalties, including people dying. And so it takes a couple hours to get it right. And it is pretty chaotic when you think about the compliance world of a heavily compliant world of food development, food science. And so we started doing things by hand and matured in a couple of ways, like a bunch of people did, 2 or so years ago. We opened up that ChatGPT console, started in 3.5, making our way to 4.0, and started copy pasting nutrition data, nutrition facts into these things. And we found the errors in math, but we found some things that were really good. We ended up building custom GPTs that we used in our teams. And basically built a little Python adapter into the Food and Drug Administration's interfaces, as well as USDA, and use that to generate accurately each time a great nutrition facts label. And of course, I'm a web scale engineer. Abby's a nutritional scientist. So we double check everything by hand. But what we found was we were able to take these custom GPTs and then hack it into OpenWebUI to basically do a private console internally. With pipelines, it was okay, but it got us there. Now, so what are some of the challenges with this? One of the big challenges was that there's just so much you can do. It's hard to guide someone down, especially if you're delegating some work, right? It allows you the space to experiment, whether you're doing this in your playgrounds or in a ChatGPT console, Claude, or maybe your own private hosted. The challenge is, though, scaling for console workflows. Like, it can be done easier now with like Claude Code and whatnot. But it's really hard to have the same thing done everywhere unless you're like pipelining to a specific agent or tool. So that brought us kind of to the next generation, and we had these scripts that would do the nutrition facts generation. We had an AI agent script that would pull labels and go through the FDA CFRs and all the different rules, but all the different things. Those helped. But what really helped is when we went ahead and we put them up in a Next.js interface. We put in a web layer, just backing into OpenAI, and that works really good with 4Omni. Or 4Omni for like deconstructing images. The challenge is that when everything moved to O3 and we got to access these like super smart models on the back end, we went from synchronous information coming out to the end users, or us as end users, to having to wait 5 or 15 minutes. And that completely broke our applications or made it so we couldn't upgrade out of our labs. And at that time, we implemented LangGraph TypeScript for state management of our AI web tier for 2 of 8 applications that we needed to go async. And it really was a game changer. At that time, we also I'll have to do a call out to the LangChain AI team. They've been incredibly supportive for us on this. We got LangGraph LangSmith SDK also at the time, so we got a lot of visibility. Right, it was really really cool. Now for us, one thing that's kind of taken LangGraph and it's kind of exploded like tribbles. Use it kind of everywhere right now, and we're in the process of porting from LangGraph TypeScript and the web services layer to put them as in Python as graphs behind FastAPI, and kind of getting centralized governance control and separation from that layer. The thing about LangGraph that's been really great for us is that it's just magic state management, right? I can share state across all the nodes and agents, or it has this magic way of checkpointing. So if a script goes halfway through, I don't know, doing a file operation or pulling something off an EDI system or whatnot, it knows where exactly what step it was. You can kind of go back in time in your logs, and most importantly, you can use it to instrument your agentic flows with OpenTelemetry, which has been this like amazing, eye-opening world where we have these agents that are doing something that's actually really important for compliance, right? And we should log how we're doing these things, and we can have that business process automated in a simple set of scripts, deployed via Git, running in a microservice, and we can audit them and have that governance come full circle using OpenTelemetry. Especially when you're building the agentic workflow and you can capture the KPIs that the agent's seeing and insert that into the log stream. It is a brilliant tool chain, and LangGraph's real at the core of that. So for us, we are in this great migration right now. It started with the LangSmith SDK, and really expanded into us having exporting to OpenTelemetry collectors. We're turning up new ones right now on Cloudflare containers. It's really, really cool. But the ability to have one set of fully instrumented, basically stack that is common across our web application as well as agentic processing. And we can do things like transmutations, we can clear out PII, we can invalidate data governance, all sorts of really cool things. And what that is supporting for us, and which I'm really excited about, is it's bringing us to a architecture where everything can come out in a dashboard, right? So where everything's been moving towards us is highly specialized agents that have an entry point, right? The specialized agents themselves, we can validate through LLM as a judge, through direct observation, and through, we always validate like with a CPG lawyer, the labels are good, that type of stuff. We have a great little feedback cycle to make sure those are good, but they're small. This FastAPI service layer is amazing, right? It's super robust, self-documented, and it boots up these LangGraphs really great. And then the telemetry with right now that we're getting, especially with OpenTelemetry, it is really, really mind-blowing. And that's directly resulting in dashboards that allow us to manage our business, both on the compliance side, but then the functional management of our agents. Some things that matter is, LangGraph is more than state management for AIs. You can do it for everything else. And for us, it took 2 to 3 hour jobs down to 5 to 10 minutes, and it made it so they're accurate each time. It allowed us to scale. So we learned, that this process of going from console to microservices is important, right? State management is where it is, and that observability is important, but only to keep a human in the loop. For us, we have a lot of cool things in the future. We are maturing pretty much in every single aspect, including tying in our ERP systems and doing fun stuff. So if you'd like to connect and talk more, please reach out with me, scan the QR code. That's how to get in touch with me. I love being associated and connecting with people who are doing a little bit different. Thank you.
Oh, you did not disappoint. Yes, my incredibly high standards, you hit them, and actually you surpassed them, I will say. I have one question for you before we rock on to our final talk.
Yeah, what's
And
that?
that is, I have talked to friends who are also using LangGraph,
Huh?
and the one question, well, so there's OpenTelemetry, there's LangGraph, and then there is the traditional observability tools that I imagine you're also using.
Mhm.
And what I guess the questions are, first, are you using the open source LangGraph or using like the hosted cloud version?
I am an open source guy, true and true.
Okay.
And I come from web scale, so like at some point you really have to partner with the community on
Mhm.
that and find what lifts your boats. So yeah, I'm not on the LangGraph cloud, which you can get on you can order on Amazon now, right? Amazon Marketplace if you want to do it yourself. But you can build all this yourself out of
Yeah.
commonly available components.
I for some reason my head was in the wrong space and I was like, "Oh yeah, they'll just deliver that to your door these days on Amazon, right?" That's how they do it with that Amazon cloud. So, yeah, I just have had friends that I've talked to that are wondering where they plug in the traditional observability into these systems and how that whole loop works.
So traditional observability of like managing state, managing matrix, managing your metrics, and managing your logs. And so
And yeah, for the agent specifically, right? And then
yeah,
passing that data.
I think that on the Prometheus Alert Manager Loki that though and Tempo to guided together with using open telemetry and collectors to distribute to the appropriate things,
Mhm.
um,
Hmm.
combined with and I'll say on the AI observability stack. You have LangFuse open source, right, which is a great API. There's some security architecture things I'm not a huge fan of, but when it comes to like how the prompt CMS thing, but honestly, LangChain does the same thing with LangSmith. But anyways, fanning out to your full CNCF observability stack, and then you can embed your evals, your prompt versioning, your basically your AI flow inspection with LangFuse if you want to do it completely open source. Or you can do like a Rise Phoenix or whatever. You route it into LangSmith still,
Yeah.
if you want to do it that way.
Yeah,
Which it's good to support the projects you consume. I do that.
totally. Yeah, yeah. That okay, so that makes a lot of sense and that's awesome. Last question. Prasad's asking, are you on Kubernetes?
Right now, that is so in many different ways. Yes.
In many different ways. Is that what you just said?
Yeah. Yeah.
And you pointed behind you, so I can only imagine what that means. Hold on. Let's get a better look at that.
Oh, it's a little Go lab right here, right? So these run on like Cloud Run and stuff. You're able to do that quite easily. But that mess right there is my Kubernetes lab. It's basically building a reference, a pre-buildable reference that I can throw down in the factories, and
Wow.
then we can start to use the same architecture for the quality engineering of the actual lines that are running.
Oh, incredible. Wow, that's super cool. How do you ensure memory consistency in long-running LangGraph workflows? Do you snapshot state or rely on runtime context along open telemetry traces?
From what I understand, for me, it's just been completely taking the state management.
Nice. All
Yeah,
right.
it's and this is the thing. Like this is all pre 0.1, so expect
Mm,
breaking changes. For me, I'm investing as much as teams as in platforms in the community.
okay.
So yeah, it's been I got these two applications that are deployed properly inside of it, right? And so I'm still learning too.
Yeah.
But the big thing is like the full Grafana's Prometheus stack. I'm in love with ClickHouse now as a metrics database. It's so
Nice.
quick.
Yeah.
Um, and just this notion of being able to instrument with attributes at that agent layer when you know so much about the application and be able to tag those attributes with hotel and your logs, like you have all the basics that you need to stay compliant right there. What you did, how you did, when you did it, who committed what, like boom.
That's huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is huge. Well, dude, thank you. I will really appreciate this. I'll be in touch